Well, hello again, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Just the Tip. Sorry I've been a little bit absent as of late, but today I'm going to be bringing you the tip on Ari Aster's newest project, Eddington.
Joe, 6 feet.
Written and directed by Ari Aster, you may remember him from Hereditary, Midsommar, or maybe even Beau is Afraid. He has made some statements that he was sitting on the script for Eddington for about 8 years, which would set this prior to the pandemic and the events of the film. And after sitting through 2.5 hours of this, I can't imagine why no one would pick this up.
You suck!
Ari Aster rose to prominence with visionary horror films like Hereditary and Midsommar, and then followed it up with Beau is Afraid, which was roundly rejected by audiences. And Eddington is a Western comedy thing set in the 2020 pandemic in the fictional town of Eddington, New Mexico. Stars Joaquin Phoenix as Joe Cross, Eddington's befuddled small-town sheriff, whose conflicts with the mayor, Ted Garcia, played by Pedro Pascal, reach a boiling point set amidst the backdrop of escalating societal tensions in the 2020 pandemic. If rehashing everyone's favorite moments of 2020 sounds like your cup of tea this weekend, there's definitely a lot here for you. From mask mandates, to George Soros, to Antifa, to George Floyd, to social distancing, there is plenty to unpack here that unfolds mostly over the first hour and change before this movie just spirals into something else entirely. Nearly every character in this movie is a caricature of someone you either currently know or definitely recognized during 2020. From Joaquin Phoenix's mother-in-law, played by Deidre O'Connell, who obsessively scrolls through conspiracy theories, to Austin Butler's vague cult leader who says a lot and does virtually nothing, as well as the teenagers with far too much free time and even more empathy who take it upon themselves to get involved with the social justice movements of the time. There's literally all the worst people you remember in this movie.
Oh, you are just the worst type of person.
It's hard to discuss much plot about this film without getting into spoilers, so let's get into why this doesn't work. Ari Aster pulls on a million threads, but barely connects any of them in this movie. It's a very surface level look at the problems of 2020 and how that has affected our society going forward. He literally lays out some of the problem, but with no solution, which is fine if it was done well. Some of the effects in this are not very good, borderline jarring, and while I did enjoy the cinematography in the second half, particularly in the climax of this movie, I felt like this was far from his best work and probably his worst. The social commentary in the first half of this movie is very, very dragging. I know that it has been 5 years, but for most of us, we really just don't want to suffer through 2.5 hours of reliving 2020. And the ending far from sticks the landing. I am still not quite sure what that ending was really supposed to be, and of course, it does end in typical Ari Aster fashion with a huge dong.
Nobody knows that they saw it, but they did.
A nice big cock.
I had high hopes for Eddington, being that it is directed by Ari Aster, which outside of Beau is Afraid, he did make 2 very good horror movies in the modern era. And while this isn't a horror movie, I thought that perhaps his artistic direction could point a social commentary about 2020 in the right direction. Unfortunately, I was very wrong, and that's 2.5 hours of my life I will never get back.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I think that'll be it for this episode of Just the Tip. My tip, skip Eddington. Maybe see it on streaming if you're interested, but streaming doesn't change the fact that this movie is easily 45 minutes too long. If you want a more in-depth look at Eddington, check out our podcast on Sunday. HDS comes out every Sunday evening, and Tim and I will give our full spoiler review on this massive waste of our time.
It's a waste of good scotch.
Have you seen Eddington yet, or are you going to go out and see it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe to Hollydudes for more, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.